If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or any cheap PC games, use the referral link in the description. It will take you over to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods, and if you use the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again, and welcome to episode number 17 of the Career Mode RTG, the Return to Glory with Nottingham Forest. We are having some transfer targets in today's episode, having a look at some of the suggestions you guys gave me yesterday, and a couple of my own as well, and we'll have a look at the squad as it stands, and I'll show you where I'm looking to improve more so than anywhere else. As you can see, well, as we are well aware, we've got a few loanees in at present, and a few of them are quite important to us. Most notably, Nelson Oliveira is our top goal scorer this season. He's on loan, so we are going to have to look to maybe replace him for the following season. I do want to replace Chris Burke on the right-hand side of midfield as well. Paneos is the first team left back that we use, but he's only 69 rated. But he is quite young and does have the opportunity to grow. He's only 23, so I'm not sure whether I want a new left back or not as of yet. I would like to move on some of the older players in the squad. Players like Kelvin Wilson and Chris Burke, as we mentioned, on the right-hand side of midfield. And we've got Ali Adnan's on loan. Ep17 is on loan. Joe Gomez is on loan. Who else is on loan? We've got Williams on loan, we've got Mendes on loan, we've got Cornet on loan, we've got O'Grady on loan. A lot of players that are going to be leaving us at the end of the season that we're going to need to replace sooner rather than later, maybe with some contract expiry players that we can get in on a free now. I want to look to sell Mills and Tesh. Andy Reid isn't going to play for me, but I know he's a fan favourite at Forest, so I'm not going to be looking to sell him on. Let me show you quickly the transfer list, or the players that I've got on the transfer list. This is our current transfer budget. We've not got much money, 3.2 million, £22,000 available in wages. I have actually had to offer contracts to Burke and Wilson to ensure that I can get money for them in this window. Hopefully they will sign. They both wanted £20,000, so they'll both be on £5,000 more, but if we sell them on, then obviously we'll recoup that money anyway, and I'd rather offer them a contract and then sell them for money, rather than just let them sign on a pre-contract now and then not actually see any money from either of those two players until next year, which is not the way that we want to go about improving the squad. So at present, we have, actually, let me take Andy Reid off the transfer list. We have Jamie Ward on the transfer list. He was a new signing at Forest in real life this summer, but I just haven't used him, and that 1.1 million would come in very handy indeed. Tesha, haven't used him, and Matt Mills as well, barely used him, so we'll try and get those out, and that would really help improve our transfer budget and wage budget situation, as well as if I sort by age. If we're going to move out Burke and Wilson as well, that would really come in handy. We could use these guys as make weight for other people as well. Matt Mills and Jamie Ward there, as you can see, transfer listed. O'Grady's on loan. He's 29 years of age. Tesha I'm not using. He's been transfer listed. Chris Cohen is a fan favourite at Forest, so we'll keep him at the club. Similar with Andy Reid, even though Reid is 33 years old and not really playing for us. And then there is, if I go to this side, you can see how many people are loaned in at the club right now. We've obviously added to it this season with Gomez and Cornet and Ali Adnan, but already at the club was Williams, O'Grady, Mendes, and Oliveira. So, and Ep17. So there's a lot of loanees in at the club right now. So we do have squad depth, but they're not necessarily all my players. We've added to the transfer list, or the short list, sorry, a lot of people that you guys suggested in the comment section of the previous episode. So we'll have a quick look through them. A lot of them I haven't got any idea of their stats, so I am going to need to scout ahead, and we might not be able to move on them for the next couple of videos, or at least not the next video, but hopefully the episode after next we'll be able to actually start throwing bids in for some of these players that we can't see their stats for right now. Players like Juan Carlos Paredes from Watford, Bernardo Espinoza was a centre-back offered to me. I am looking to improve at centre-back. Grant Hall was also mentioned. He looks good in the tackle, supposedly, and strength as well is important, as is stamina. Robbie Rogers was mentioned for left-back. I don't know anything about him, I will be honest. Nick Blackman as well was mentioned. He apparently is available for contract expiry. Matt Phillips is a player that I'm sure a lot of you will know about, and is a good talent as well, but he's not available on a pre-contract. Matt Ritchie is doing well for Bournemouth in real life, and he was suggested by you guys. Then we've got some centre mids. I do have a lot of centre mids, but again, a few of them are in on loan. Daniel Johnson from Preston was mentioned. Dele Alli is obviously a good player, but he is going to be expensive, and I don't really see the point in loaning him in. right now, there's not really any need to for this particular moment in time, but I'm going to leave him on the transfer list to maybe try and pick him up next year should we get promoted into the Premier League and have a little bit extra money to spend. Daniel Amate is another player that is very versatile. I believe he can play in a variety of different positions. Only centre mid and centre back this year. He can play at wing back though, I think. Asane Nakuri is a player that was mentioned to me as well in the comment section of the previous video. Looks good short passing wise, or at least that's his supposed strongest stat. If his tackling stats are towards the higher end of those estimates, then that would be fantastic. If they're not, then I may look elsewhere. Joe Newell was mentioned to me at Rotherham. I don't know anything about him. Apparently he's got very good dribbling and crossing, so we'll have to wait and see what the scout report says about him. Mark Stendera is another player that was mentioned to me in the comment section. I don't know anything about him. Or Thiago Alves. He's available on a pre-contract, but I'll have to wait and see what his stats look like. Mimoun Mahi from Groningen as well is another player that I don't know anything about, but has been highly recommended by you guys in the comment section. Eric Ayuk is another player from the MLS that I don't know anything about, but we'll wait and see. Andre Gray is a striker that I would be interested in bringing in. He looks very, very good indeed. I don't know how many goals he scored this season for Burnley. I may actually have a look at Burnley's stats in a moment and see how many goals he's banged in, but he's very fast, got good finishing, decent strength. Would be a very good striker to improve our squad. Charlie Austin scored a hat-trick against us for QPR the other day, and he is available on a pre-contract, although he is on a lot of wages. So I would be interested in bringing Charlie Austin in, but we would have to wait until we've moved a handful of players out before we can afford to pay the wages that he would be demanding to bring him in on a pre-contract next year. Also looking at someone that would be quite strong at up top, is Tomi Juric. I don't know anything about him again. My knowledge of the Eredivisie is not that strong whatsoever, but sprint speed is good, strength is good, and finishing supposedly is good as well. So, I mean, that's good, I suppose, and promising. We'll have to wait and see what the scout report says on him. And Roger Asale as well was mentioned to me as a potential left-sided midfielder, because, of course, currently we are using Ali Adnan as rotation on the left-hand side. We did bring in Jordan Ive, and he's been very good for us on a permanent. So I wouldn't necessarily be wanting to replace him right now. But we are going to need to think ahead with, obviously, Jamie Ward hopefully leaving us. We've got Ali Adnan on loan. We've got Mendes on loan. So I would like some more players of my own rather than having people borrowed from elsewhere. Just out of curiosity then, we'll have a quick look at team stats for the league. No, where is it? Where's the championship? Hello, championship. There we go. Burnley. How many goals has Andre Gray scored? 2 in 7. Okay, they're playing Ashley Barnes and Sam Vokes ahead of Andre Gray. So maybe, if he's not first team, we might be able to pick him up quite cheap as well. That's definitely something to contemplate. That's the scenario as we are right now, though. We are hopefully going to be able to raise a little bit extra money in this window. We might have about 6 or 7 million to spend. Or we could just use the players that we're looking to sell on as, well, just use them in the deals as swap deals. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully Chris Burke and Kelvin Wilson will sign the extra contract so that we can then sell them for money, and we'll be able to raise money that way as well. So for now, I'm quite pleased with where we are in the series as a whole. The squad is very strong for our position in the league and in the series as a whole, with the growth of Nottingham Forest Football Club. We're third in the league, only 3 points away from first and second, who are both their joint on 49 points. Goal difference to Hull isn't that far, but as you can see, QPR are racing away when it comes to goals scored. But we're quite solid defensively, averaging a goal conceded a game, but scoring well over a goal a game. So I'm not too fussed about that, to be completely honest. We're playing very well, having a good season. This alongside the Valencia series, they're both going very well, but they're not getting that much support view-wise. So I'm a bit disappointed with that so far. We did get plenty of suggestions in yesterday's episode though, which is good, but the view count for both of these series are back to midway through FIFA 15 when I was half the size the channel is now. But anyway, let's crack on. So that's going to be the end of today's episode, and we will have a further look at some of the players that you've put towards me on the shortlist over the next couple of episodes. Hopefully the scout reports will come back sooner rather than later. At the beginning of the next episode, we'll start with a Capital One Cup game against Chelsea, which will be very difficult. And then we've got Charlton in the league. If we beat Chelsea, unlikely, but if we beat Chelsea, we will have another Capital One Cup game. No, that's FA Cup, isn't it? Not Capital Cup. Yeah, it's FA Cup. We got knocked out of the Capital One Cup against, if my brain... Yeah, it was Newcastle. There we go. So it's FA Cup, but if we get through the FA Cup against Chelsea, we will have another FA Cup tie in the league, or in the league, in the month of January. So it's not that busy a month, but it could be a lot busier should we beat Chelsea. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But for now, thank you very much for watching, guys. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. Please do continue to give me your transfer suggestions in the comment section down below, and please do continue to show your support for all of the series on the channel. It really does mean a lot to me when you continue to come back and watch video after video. I really do appreciate that. But for now, that's all from me. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Instagram. Check the No Identity merchandise store out. But for now, that's all from me, and I will see you next time.